Alright, so in today's video, I got the Platinum Trophy on LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. This got re-released and made available to play in the PS5 a few months ago, and for those OG viewers out there, you'll remember that I did a LEGO challenge and series on this channel a while ago, which has spawned pretty much every other challenge I've done since then. And I also have every single other LEGO game Platinum besides this one on the PS5, which is why it just had to be done. Also, TT Studios did just announce a new LEGO game, so it's a good time to do it with everyone else being bricked up and not just me. Now, speaking of challenges, if we do hit 1 million subs on the channel, I have to Platinum Fortnite, which is one of the hardest Platinums ever. So please drop a like and subscribe. I want to die inside. Anyways, LEGO Star Wars 2 only has 30 trophies, including the Platinum Trophy, so it's a pretty tiny list. It took me over 30 hours to complete, however, which was very surprising coming from a LEGO game. It also does take multiple playthroughs to finish, and it's, in my opinion, one of the hardest LEGO games I've ever done. So starting off today, stage 1 is to beat every level in the game while trying your best to get true Jedi on each. Some of them I don't believe it's even possible to do normally, but a good majority of them you can get fairly easy. But this game covers 3 episodes from the Star Wars universe, being 4 through 6, which is some of the best ones as we all know. And I obviously began with episode 4 being the first one. Now, due to this game not having many trophies gotten throughout its normal play aside from completing episodes in their entirety, I'm probably going to be just explaining the levels more than the trophies so I can even make a video out of this game. TT Studios, why did you have to forsake me in 2006? That's actually insane. This game is almost 20 years old. A piece of saved media at this point. But the first chapter had us play as Leia and her orange slave, or simp, to start out with, and the ship we were on was getting sieged by Darth Vader and the stormtroopers, which caused absolute chaos and bricks were flying everywhere. Eventually you do see Darth Vader, and he just kind of aura farms in front of us before I shot these exploding things and made him run away to go wipe his ass cheeks. But overall, there was just a lot of fighting on this level. I did do my first puzzle of sorts, but it just had us push these blocks into place, so nothing complex at all. And I will warn you all, I got stuck so many times in this game's puzzles later on, it was genuinely sad. LEGO games are still stumping me in 2025. I think I'm, jokes aside, an idiot. Like, seriously, I need to enroll in a community college or something just for my brain's health at this point. Anyways, we stumbled upon R2-D2 and C-3PO, and Leia gave them her infamous message asking Obi-Wan Kenobi to bone her. She then ran off to go hide as you play as R2-D2 and C-3PO for the rest of this mission, with the goal being to just get off the ship. Easily enough, that is, because you just walked to an escape pod, and we took the one that didn't have a stormtrooper coming out party inside of it. Cutscenes then played, ending off the level, and yes, Leia got caught, as we all know, but so did the boys, so L's are being passed all around right now. I also did get a trophy after that first level called Story Jedi from completing a chapter with full True Jedi meter in story mode, which was nice. Anyways, moving on, you then play as Luke and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the second level in this game is one of my least favorites out of them all. Yes, I know, a rough start to the game, but it's mostly because it's just confusing. The goal was dumb that we had to do, and these damn Raider enemies just infinitely spawned in to kill you in so many instances. It was just so stupid. And that's the one thing about this game that just unironically made me angry. The enemies just kept on coming, acting like they popped 4 Viagras and snorted blue chew with the sheer amount they came on me. Okay, that's crazy for a LEGO video. Children might watch this. I'm so sorry, kids. Oh my God! But this level pretty much just had us go into the big vehicle holding the boys and save them. You then have to cross like one more major courtyard before reaching a speeder, and then also taking that to cross this river of sorts. But to end the level, all you have to do is have everybody sit on these pressure plates to open the door to get this very special and important house. After going inside of it, it's a wrap. Now, since I didn't get any trophies, I was a little bit sad, but I checked my PSN messages and I got a very nice one. Shout out to this legend. Much more appreciative than some of the other messages I get on PlayStation. But the next trophy I did get in this game was called Putting the Death in Death Star from completing the entirety of episode 4. And we are only on level 2 of 6 in that, so yeah, that's unfortunate. My dopamine receptors are fried, chat. Basically, the next level had us as Luke's group still, and you were in this city of Tatooine, I think. If we aren't in Tatooine, then my next guess is El Paso, Texas. But you just had to fight your way through a bunch of the Empire because they were here and enforcing heavy restrictions on people. You also got to build and ride an AT-ST at one point, which was super fun, although it was a bit annoying to use. However, once you do take out enemies enough, you get access to the bar where we end up meeting Han and Chewbacca inside of it, and then you actually take over as them for the rest of the mission. The rest of the mission also didn't have much happen inside of it aside from an ending boss fight, which is the first of the game, I'm pretty sure. And it was just against this little rat who looks like a plague doctor from the olden times, except with less aura and more autism. And after you do take out the guy, the mission ends. And the next 2 missions then had us both infiltrating one of the Empire's ships to save Leia, who was still imprisoned, with the first one having us just save her. And to save her, all you have to do is make it through this level until the final hallway with these levers all over the place and just switch the right one to access her cell. I was unaware of that though, so I got confused and I just manned their guns and started to kill people. Murder is always the answer at the end of the day, just like how Han is about to murder that tonight. Yeah, we saved her. And like I said, there was 2 missions here, with the following level being all about us escaping this place. And we did that eventually, which finished off the level, but then the final level in this episode just had us come back. However, we were on the outside, and this is the infamous destroying Death Star scene from the movies. The ship combat in this game is also quite good, especially for being almost 20 years old, so I don't really have any complaints. And after you do manage to destroy the Death Star, the level is over, and so is the episode with the trophy from it finally popping. Now, before I did go on to play episode 5, I actually just ran through these 3 side story levels containing quick stories about Darth Maul, Count Dooku, and Darth Vader. And all of them only took a few minutes to complete. They also gave a trophy for each of them. These are also little snippets from previous movies if you can't tell. And the Darth Maul fight had us playing as Obi-Wan and his master Qui-Gon Jinn, the most white man name I've personally ever heard. But the entire mission was just a fight against Darth Maul, or rather a chase, because the dude ran away screaming and crying the entire time, leaving us to fight his droids and defenses he had set up. I've never seen a man flee a threesome so quick. It's actually impressive. But the fight itself was very simple and straightforward. We lost it, obviously, as the story goes, but the trophy popped after regardless. Anyways, I then did the Count Dooku level and played as Obi-Wan and Anakin this time. Now, this was again just another big boy boss fight against Count Dooku once we did make it to him, and I personally always f***ed with the Dookie man. I thought he was the best aura farmer without even trying to, but that's just me. So it kind of did hurt to see him get his ass paddled by us. But I guess it hurt even more for Anakin to lose a hand, especially his right one. The stroke game died that day. No wonder he became a Sith Lord. Anyways, here's that level's trophy. So the final level in this trilogy of tiny ones was again with Anakin and Obi-Wan, but it was when Anakin became Darth Vader. And this is by far my most favorite moment in Star Wars and the movies in general. Actual peak cinema. I often think about this fight scene in my day-to-day basis of life. But first they had us just wander around and it was kind of odd. However, the actual fight was a banger, and we all know what happened. Rest in peace, Anakin, and welcome Lord Vader, with the trophy popping from that. So I then returned back to playing the normal levels of this game, going through episode 5 this time. And the first 2 levels in this episode were very simple. The first one had us actually do entirely ship combat with speeders and AT-ATs. It was actually kind of difficult at first, but once you get the hang of the ball mechanics especially, it's not bad at all. And the goal of the route was to just keep on killing bad guys, so W simplicity. Now the following level with Han and Leia was also very straightforward, with the goal being to just escape Hoth, because obviously the Empire is attacking us with no mercy, and all you do is make your way through the level to reach the Falcon and then fly off into the sunset. The third level, however, after I actually did get another trophy, and this was another entirely ship or aerial combat level, which I actually do love in these games, I'm gonna be real. But the trophy I got was just from finding a red power brick, and I got one just chilling in the air, so easy peasy, here's that trophy. But the rest of that level actually had us just kind of running away from enemies, so it wasn't quite as exhilarating as the Death Star one. The following level, though, was my least favorite in the entire game. It was that damn story arc with Luke and Yoda training him. And the reason I hated it was because, for one, Luke is powerless for most of it, which is just inconvenient, but also it is an extremely confusing level. And even after playing it more than 4 times, I still have no clue exactly what you're supposed to do. Like, everything inside of it at all times looks the same. I just can't tell where I am. It's so bad. But the 5th level had us playing as Luke in full power, and this was the famous Darth Vader and Luke confrontation, sit down, reconnection, if you will, moment. You basically fight Darth Vader for the entire level, and it was a ton of fun. Ultimately, he cuts off your hand, like father, like son, huh? The moment Luke finds out this is his dad then happens, and it's cinema from there on out. And for some reason, the game didn't make this the final level. Not sure why, because there was one more, and level 6 of this episode kind of blew. You go from boss battling Darth Vader for 20 minutes to just wandering around as Leia searching for her ship, which, looking back at it, this was like 14 levels in this game, and I don't know how I missed that while playing it, but you literally just wander around trying to get to your ship, and that's the entire level. After doing that, the episode then ends, and the trophy from it finally popped. The next trophy I got was then called 2 stars down from yet again just finishing episode 6, the final one in this game. But I'm kind of tired of explaining each level one by one, so I'm just going to summarize the summarizing. This is probably why I got shade in English class from my teacher during high school, I can't lie. But the episode had us pretty much just on Endor the entire time, with the Ewok little people for a large portion of it. You f with the Empire a lot, got the Battle Palpatine, that dry nutsack looking ass old man, and then do another ship blowing up, bigger ship combat scene just like the Death Star one, except this time it was even cooler. Upon blowing that big ass thing up, you then finish off the episode and the trophy popped right here. So now it's time to finally move on to stage 2 of this trophy grind. This is the get all gold brick stage, and I was also trying to still gather as many studs as I could, because that's the main grind of this game, just getting studs for the ending trophies. And I want to say a huge fucking thank you and shout out to this small guide creator on YouTube that created an entire playlist for the gold bricks and mini kits of this game. There really wasn't much out there since the game is so old, but some lad did it, and I love you, bro. The first trophy I got during this step was called Free Range Jedi, from just completing a chapter with a full True Jedi meter in free play, since that is now unlocked. But then I just went through and I started grabbing everything I could see like we were in a third world country. And I got another trophy a few minutes after called Finding the Last Piece, from completing a chapter with all the mini kits collected in story or free play. And this is obviously natural, as we need to get all mini mini kits regardless for the platinum, so here's that trophy pop. I also did end up playing the challenge mode at some points when I got bored of just doing Lego game collectibles, which aren't necessarily that fun. But challenge mode in this game has a lot of variety, and it pretty much is just an additional layer to the level already at hand, being a speedrun type mode. And these can actually be quite hard or challenging if you don't know where to go like I did in this first one. Shout out again to Video Guide Man, saving my ass with less than 30 seconds, and here's that trophy pop. You do also have to complete a speedrun challenge on every level, by the way, because a gold brick is gotten from that each time, so that's just swell. But the next trophy I got was just from purchasing a character, and here's that pop. I then went quite a few hours, like 5 or so, without any more trophies because grinding out gold bricks does not give you trophies as you do them, unlike other Lego games, unfortunately. But I did ultimately reach 2 million studs in my account at one time. Let me treat you right, baby girl, except she left, but it was a trophy pop from having that many studs. I then got a trophy from purchasing a red brick finally, which I managed to save up for and only took the entire game. I am broke as shit. But there is also these additional gold brick activities called character bonuses and mini kit bonuses, which are little extra levels off to the side in any given episode room, and all you have to do for them is reach 1 million studs for the most part, and it's not that hard to do this. Upon beating the score in the character bonus, I got a trophy, and the same happened in the mini kit bonus. Again, not too hard. But there was one more bonus level here because there's 3 of them, and it was called the Super Story. And the Super Story is the most annoying part of this game's platinum, if I'm going to be completely honest. You have to complete the entire 6 levels in each episode in under an hour of time without red bricks to help you or free play, just vanilla story. And not only is this hard to do in under an hour, clearly, it's also just boring. At this point, I had played the levels of this game 3 times already, and I was kind of just burnt out from this game. Being bricked up lasted too long, and now it's just pain. But after I did finish the Super Story, it gave me my last gold brick, and episode 4's Super Story isn't that challenging compared to the others. But here's that trophy, Golden Hope, from getting all the gold bricks in episode 4, and also 2 trophies from doing a Super Story for the first time. I then just did that same ritual with episode 5, and it took me an entire day to get it done, which is tragic. I'm gonna sue TT Games for this one. What were we cooking in 06? That's crazy. But here's the trophy after getting every gold brick in episode 5. I also got a trophy right after from holding 6 million studs at one time, which is hype. I then did every gold brick in episode 6, and at this point I had gotten very efficient at nailing these out. I also did manage to set up episode 5 and 6 to both just have the super stories remaining, so I just did the 6th one and finished off the gold bricks with that trophy popping, and finally sending us into stage 3 of the trophy guide, the remaining 100% cleanup, mostly just needing us to grind out studs and do the Lego City level. Now the Lego City level is actually pretty hard. I failed it and couldn't figure out for my life what these studs I was missing were, and if you don't know what a Lego City level is, it's that classic reach 1 million stud goal, and the final count of studs in this level was also barely over 1 million, so there is little room for error or missing anything. And ultimately I would find out that if you just frolic in these daisies off to the corner, it gives you a ton of studs, which puts me over 1 million. That's some bullshit, but here's the trophy pop. But after that, all that remained for trophies was for me to reach 4 billion studs and then buy everything. And huge shout out to whoever made this feature, but there is an infinite Lego stud fountain that shoots out studs, you know, infinitely after you build it, once having all the golden bricks. So I just kind of left myself AFK there, and I watched Game of Thrones for an hour, occasionally coming back here and there to buy more stud multipliers, ultimately getting the max and then grinding out the 4 billion studs quite fast. Once getting there, the trophy popped. And I then went to the shop and I just purchased everything I needed for those trophies, which all popped right beside each other, and here they are. And my final trophy was in for just making a custom character. So I strolled over to the side, hit random character, and it popped me the trophy along with the platinum trophy on Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. So that is the last digital Lego game platinum I have yet to get on the PS5 finally done with. I also have Lego Lord of the Rings on the PS3 in the works right now for you all, along with Lego Dimensions on the way. God, I'm so bricked up right now. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know it's been a minute since I've done a Lego Platinum video, but these were some of the best content I've done on the channel, and I low-key miss doing them. Such a fun time looking back at it, but that's all for today. Once more, thanks for watching. 1 million subs is right around the corner, and I'm getting more hype for these every single day.